Welcome back to Light Talk, where everyday people can share their spiritual journey experiences with a safe and supportive community. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email lighttalk423@gmail.com. Don't forget to click on the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Well, let's get started. Let's go ahead and see who we have for a guest today. It's going to be exciting.
Hi, I'm Darren Hembrow, and I'm from Wales in the United Kingdom.
That's the distance from me. I'm in the Colorado, USA.
I've got a long lost cousin in Colorado.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I think she's in Denver, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. That's about an hour away from me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you have some stories for us. Can you share us some stories? And you're a cop though, right?
I used to be.
Used to be.
I was medically retired 2 years ago. I developed something called small fiber neuropathy, which in layman's terms, I've got widespread nerve damage in 3/4 of my body. So I had to give up I had to give up my job, and I worked for the police for 19 years,
That's a
and
long time.
yeah, yeah, and in the end, I just couldn't do it. So when I came out of there, I went back into university, doing a double master's degree, and set myself up as a coach to help people, especially those with some disabilities or perhaps not coping well with retirement or getting older. So it's all about aging well and
Awesome.
looking after yourself, because ultimately, I have a belief that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, but we're still human,
Yeah.
and we've got to look after our human side as well.
Right. Right. Yeah. So do you have any of the stories from being a cop? Any ghost stories or anything like that?
I got one or two spooky stories,
Bring them on.
and there was one incident. There was a bedroom light that was flashing on and off, and neighbours had phoned the police, or basically phoned for an ambulance, because the old gentleman that lived in the house on his own, they thought that he might have fallen over and was sort of flashing his lamp on and off to try and get help. And so police officers turned up there. They had to break in. They had to go force entry through the front door. There was lots of mail behind the letterbox, and there was no electricity in the house. The electricity supplier had cut off the electricity because of lack of payment. They went to the bedroom, and again, there was no electricity whatsoever in the bedroom. And the gentleman had been dead for, very sadly, for some time, to the point the poor soul was mummified. And they don't know how the light was flashing on and off.
Wow.
So, maybe there was some sort of, you know, manifestation of energy trying to get, um, eventually for help for the gent. But poor soul had been gone for quite some time, bless him.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and yeah, that was one, and another one. Both myself and I didn't go to that particular call, but myself and another colleague, we were in separate areas of where we were stationed, and there were a lot of lanterns in the air. Somebody had released quite a few lanterns, and there was so they were all red, all sort of going from my right to left, except for one which had come in from the left to the right, in the complete opposite direction. It was just this red ball of light. And my colleague, who was elsewhere in the area that I was in, he contacted me on my radio and said, "Did you just see that?" And I said, "Are you on about that ball of light?" So he saw it as well as myself, and the person I was patrolling with had seen it as well. So got three police officers seeing this abnormal light going on, which was amazing. But I've sort of grown up, um, being a little bit aware of spirit, and um, when I was 16, I sort of left the Catholic Church, and I went into spiritualism and mediumship and things like that. So I see it more as an expansion of awareness, an expansion of consciousness, and connection between the world we come from and the world we're going to go back to.
And what brought you into the spiritual world?
Um, I was always aware of spirit as a child, but my mother and father at the time were running a pub, and my mother said to me this one particular day, "Can you mind the bar on Saturday? Because uh, she's going out somewhere." And I said, "Where are you going?" And she said, "I'm going to see a medium." I said, "Oh, can I come?" And that was it. That
Oh,
Saturday, I had my first mediumship reading, and within a week, I was in development, and that was 34 years ago.
awesome. Awesome. That's
Yeah.
really cool. I've been wanting to get into the mediumship and trying to work on my skills and everything for that, but I tend to just leaning more towards the paranormal, like the ghost and the haunted places, and so I'm like, where am I supposed to go? But I'm so drawn to the paranormal. I watch a lot of videos and stuff of ghost hunts and stuff, and
Yeah,
it's
they're
amazing.
amazing. They are absolutely amazing. I've got a few friends who are ghost hunters or paranormal investigators, and they pick things up um, on film. They pick it up on recording devices, voices, EVP,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So sorry, there's a helicopter just going overhead at all the time, and yeah, so they pick up quite a lot of things, and I've done demonstrations of mediumship in in Florida, and as well as back home here. But um, yeah, so I've got friends who are ghost hunters and paranormal investigators, and I've got friends who are very drawn to the other forms of mediumship. But I think that if you're aware of ghosts in a haunted house, for argument's sake, then
Hmm.
you are being aware of spirit.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
to me, I think just a little bit of a variation on a theme.
yeah. It's just crazy. I've tried different apps on my phone to try and do things, but it still kind of scares me a bit. But I'm possibly in the midst of checking out a friend's house, but it's got I was told that something happened, and I'm not quite sure if I want to deal with that by myself yet because I haven't done it. So
Mhm.
I've got a friend I'm going to try and send over with me and see if we can find out what the deal is. Since he's better, he's
Uh,
done it before and all of this, so I want somebody more
yeah.
experienced with me.
Well, with experience comes the confidence. So yeah, the more that you do, the I think the easier it becomes, and the more you understand, and the more you can deal with,
Right.
and and then the more you can reason within life as well. I say in my sort of prayer when I worked at spiritualist churches, um, at the end when we do a sort of closing prayer, what one couple of or a couple of lines I always use is something like, "Let us leave with the understanding that death is but a door, and the threshold is crossed in both directions."
Yeah. Believe it.
And yeah, and it very much is. You know, I lost my mother coming up 10.5 years ago, and I've had such vivid dreams of being with her. And yeah, so and yet I really haven't had that much um, given to me through mediums, but I've received in dream state. And I think if because when we're asleep, our mind and consciousness is not tied in with physical reality.
Right. We we leave our
So
bodies, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that the connection between us and spirit becomes closer in that dream state, which which for many give a lot of comfort. But I also find it frustrating as well that why is it only got to be a dream?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I asked my mom because she's passed not quite a year yet, but
uh,
I asked her to
I'm
send
sorry
a
to hear
sign.
that.
You know, people would say that, but I call it a more of a blessing. Um, she was always hurting. She had diabetes, and she was she was always in pain and sleeping. So it's like, you know what? It's best. It's best for her. So
Mm.
I've always called it a blessing. It was tough on my dad. So to me, it's more of a blessing, you know, because I know she's in a better place in all of that. But this morning before the call here, I was like, "Give me a sign, Mom. Be with me. Give me a sign with being with the Zoom today." So we'll see what she comes about.
There's well, when I asked my mother for a sign, because we weren't expecting her to go so quick when she went, and um, because at the end sepsis had set in, and it just took her within about 6 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and so and I was working full time on shift, so trying to keep the house up to sort of get the laundry sorted, get everything done, running around like a headless chicken, and then yeah. So I was like ironing clothes, hanging them up wherever, and that before I put them up into the wardrobes. And then of course she passed, and her blouse I just put on a picture frame,
Uh-huh.
and her coat was on the bottom of the banister, and I just give me a sign, just give me a sign, make this. And I was looking at the blouse, and I was like, make the sleeve move, come on, you've got the power, you can do this, you used to be medium yourself, come on, you can do this.
Yeah.
And then about a day later, the sleeve moved, and then I was like, "Whoa!" And then it wasn't my mother, unfortunately. It was this great big
Oh.
huge spider came running around it,
Mm.
Don't ask me where that spider came from because it wouldn't have been from my mother because she didn't like them either. And then I didn't ask them for a couple of days. And then I was walking down the stairs. And as I was coming down the stairs, the sleeve of her coat just looped out and back in.
And that was her.
And that was her.
There you go.
And I'd also seen, because I've channeled angels as well over the years. And I think it was about 2 or 3 days, 3 or 4 days, sorry, after she died. And my father had gone to my brother's house, which is only not too far from me. And I was parked up on a hill. And just as I glanced up at the sky, I saw this great big, huge, massive angel. It was huge.
Oh,
It was
beautiful.
huge. I've seen. Um, I think if that angel being was stood in front of me, I mean, it looked about 80 foot tall
Oh, wow.
in the sky. So it would have been far, far bigger than that. If it was stood in front of me. And I was
Right.
like, I've got to get a picture. So I just went to pick my phone up to take a photograph, and in a split second, the whole image had completely gone.
Oh, just for you to see.
Yeah, yeah, and I think sometimes we do get these symbols, we get the signs,
Mhm.
and we have to. A lot of people don't recognize that we've got the signs from spirit
Yeah.
and or from the angels or from wherever. And I think when people are very dismissive of such things, I think, they're missing out on so much
Yeah.
beauty in life. Even when we have a devastation of loss of a loved one, um, people are sort of shut down on the energy of life and the expansion of consciousness.
Right.
Um, they're missing out on so much love and beauty that's out there and
Yeah.
comfort.
Mhm. I had a similar story. I saw this image in the clouds myself, and I go, oh man, that looks just like my grandma. So I got a picture of it, and I showed my sister, and she sends me a picture of my grandma. Identical. Identical to that picture. I mean, they're looking the same direction, same profile, and everything.
Oh,
It's
fantastic.
amazing. It was amazing. And I know it was her because it was, it was her.
Yeah, yeah. And I believe you. And you know that I think sometimes will go to show that they will make any effort possible to make their message, their existence beyond life with us, to prove it.
Right.
Um, I I know when I don't know if you watch any of the crime shows like um, CSI or anything like that, but
No,
they all say in those shows, which is true. We never look up.
we
We
never.
never look up,
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
try to
we
look
should
up.
be that
Yeah.
not, yeah.
I'm kind
There's
of
there's
dangerous.
so much out there for.
Yeah. I look up a lot
Say
to
again.
see. I look up a lot to see if I can see UFOs or anything up there. I always look at clouds and stuff. So whenever I get a chance, I look up, and sometimes I look up a little too often, especially when I'm driving. It's like, shame on
Okay.
me.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, it's fine. Yeah. Have you seen any UFOs?
Me? I one time going to work, I'm not quite sure because I go to work early in the morning, so it's still dark out. And like you're saying, in a distance, seen in a distance, it was probably a good maybe 10 miles away from me, to the north of me,
Mhm.
and about an inch or so above the horizon. I see these dime shaped or dime sized. I don't know. I don't know if you guys use dimes in
I,
the UK.
I,
They're not.
I know.
Yeah, they're not
I think
real big.
I think they're about the size of about 5 pence coins.
Yeah, kind of probably. They're
Yeah,
about
yeah.
so. See if there was in a distance. Let me see if I can. So above the mountaintop there. Let's see. Oh no, it's hard to show. But anyways, um, I saw these flashes of lights that would go from the east and just flash like this, going to the west, and that was it. I've only seen it the once, and they were very bright. And yes, I am near an airport, so a few days later, I was looking at the airport as I was driving in. It's like, well, maybe that was the light from the airport. The light from the airport goes west to east. So it's flashing west to east instead of east to west, like these lights
Mhm.
would. But I've never seen them again. Not yet, anyways. I keep watching for them. But um, yeah, so I've
Yeah.
seen that. I've had ETs in my bedroom several years back. That's been maybe almost 30 years ago.
Uh-huh.
So I've had 6 of them around me, but they paralyzed me. I wasn't able to move. They just sat and looked at me. If they did anything to me, I don't know if they did. They took my memory. And several years later, they came to my current home, and I felt them in my home 3 times, but I didn't see them.
I've seen a few UFOs over the years since I was a child. Some have reached like the local press, and I have not encountered an ET, and I would like to. I really, really would. Um, the sort of last UFO that I saw was a huge, massive machine going overhead, and I was like, and I'm stood underneath, and I had the privilege of standing underneath it. And I think if we got this sort of way of thinking that we are open to seeing things from other dimensions, other planets, etc. I think the universe itself is a consciousness within its own right, and I was thinking, just saying this, hello, I'm here, hello, and a few friends were like, you shouldn't have done that, you shouldn't have done that. I said, well, nothing happened, so that's all right.
Long as
I
you're
think,
there for as friendship, as they're not to harm or something. I think
yeah,
you know you're gonna bring you're gonna bring in the more friendlier ones if you are friendly. I think.
yeah.
I don't know, but
But yeah, that would that would come on the reaction of like attracts like, maybe.
yeah.
They the, our energy and their energy will match, and they'll pick up on our vibration or our vibrational energy, and connect that way. Because hopefully this year as well, I might be able to try ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. What's that?
Ayahuasca, it's what a lot of the indigenous people in the Amazon
Oh, okay.
use to access other dimensions and
Okay.
other portals. And some people, um, I'm not saying in all cases, but some people have had their mental health issues cured by doing such things. Not everybody, just the odd one or two that I've heard of. Other people have had contact with beings that are not like us, and yet exist in the point of space and time that we do, but they don't belong on our planet. They're not with us. They're just perhaps on beyond our normal perception.
Wow, that's cool. That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, and a friend of mine, he done it, I think September time, and he saw um, he couldn't quite see clearly enough, but he thought his grandmother had come forward to give him guidance and give him sort of, yes, do it, go with the flow, what you want to do, make a success out of it, and he's picking all this up, and he wants to do it more often.
Awesome.
So yeah, and I definitely want to do it, and just to again, it's that experience and it's that expansion of awareness and that expansion of consciousness, and I think that we all belong to life itself, don't we? And um, by I think tapping into other dimensions, other energy forms. What There's so much for us to learn that we're not learning.
Yeah, we haven't even touched it.
No,
Haven't even touched it. Yeah.
no, and you're right. I do, and I'll never take away anybody's religious or spiritual beliefs because I think what's for them is for them, and it's where they're at there and then. And if it's right for them, then it's right for them.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've upset a few Jehovah's Witnesses that come knocking on my door,
Mm-hmm.
and and I'm only highlighting them because they're like, no, evil, and I'm like, I'm not evil, I'm not evil, and yeah, I think this very old lady, she ran a mile from my door when I said I'm a spiritualist, but and they didn't come to my house until last week. It's been about 5 years that they've been in the street, but they haven't come to my house.
They probably have a
So,
note on your address. Don't come close.
and but I'm only highlighting them because of how self-limiting their belief is. They've
Yeah.
got, unlike a lot of religions, that the holy books, and people will say that, you know, this is it, and it's like the Christian Bible. It's 2,000 years old. Um, Jehovah's Witnesses will say that it says in the Bible, don't associate with spiritualist mediums. I think it's in the book of Deuteronomy. They quote, and but spiritualism is less than 200 years old. It can't be in the book of Deuteronomy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you say that, and they're like, right, bye. But well, I think even on the Christian Bible, the New Testament, 2,000 years old. What have we progressed spiritually? Why hold on to that 2,000 years when we've had great spiritual teachers, Jesus included,
Mhm.
to guide us to a greater understanding, a greater um, source of inner tranquility, inner peace, inner spirituality, inner light,
Right.
and we seem to shut it down.
Right. We sure do. And I think that's a good point to stop at as our time is running low. So I want to thank you so much. And I know we have a lot more to talk about.
Bless you.
So I want to thank you so
Definitely,
much.
bless you.
Yeah, so much to be on the show. And again, if anybody out there has stories to tell and want to share them, email lighttalk423 at gmail.com. And let's get together and have you on the show. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for hosting me.
Of course, of course. My pleasure.